Who is the true devotee? Long ago, in a village, there lived a milkmaid named Savitri. Selling milk in houses was her job. Early in the mornings, she went out of her house and reached the neighboring houses before dawn. The people waited for her arrival. It was after her arrival, the people prepared their breakfast. Near Savitri's house, there was a river. Even though it was very wide, there was no any bridge across it. The only way of going to the two opposite banks was a boat and its boatman. He was used to lie in the boat itself, for he did not have a house of his own. He got some money from the travel he led his life. It was Savitri who woke him up in the mornings most of the time. One day, the boatsman caught fever and he was sent to a hospital. The maid had not known about it. As usual, she came to the bank, but she could not see the boatman or the boat. She sat there helplessly for a long time. At last, she decided to swim across the river and to reach the houses in time. It was not an easy thing to swim across the river keeping the milk pot on head. Sarah was a very good swimmer, and so it was not impossible to her to cross the river, the pot on head. She swam to the opposite bank. It was very strenuous. At that, she crossed the river, drenching all over. Squeezing her clothes dried, she went to the houses, but she was too late to the houses. All the house owners complained mildly against her delay. One Brahmin asked her why she was late. She said about the absence of the boatman and about the difficulty of swimming across the river with the pot on head. He said, "Look, I have more difficult problems every day, but I overcome all obstacles chanting Narayana, Narayana every time. Your problem is an easy thing." The next day, Savitri came to the houses very early. When he came to the Brahmin's house, he asked, "You are very early today?" She said, "As you said, I chanted the Lord's name and walked across the river." The Brahmin could not believe his ears. He laughed and said, "You are joking?" She said, "No, sir, I am telling the truth. You said it was easy to overcome every obstacle with the Lord's name. Accordingly, I acted and found it true." The Brahmin felt ashamed. He wanted to ascertain whether she was right. Next day, he went to the river and waited for the maid's arrival, hiding behind a tree. A little time later, she came chanting the Lord's name, and without any change in expression, she walked across the water, pacing over the river. The Brahmin was extremely surprised to see it. Even though he was very pious, he had not got such a skill or that much power of concentration. From that time onwards, he respected the milkmaid.